Welcome to my first vegetable garden and to my series Grow as I Grow. Today we're going to grow cilantro, so I'm going to talk about really how to get it started indoors. It's also a plant that you can just see directly outdoors. It can deal with cold temperatures, it can deal with frost, and sometimes you can just take a handful of cilantro seed and just scatter it out in your garden in the fall. I'm in Maryland Zone 7, so we do get nice winter with a good freeze. And the cilantro will germinate when it's ready, and it will be there for you early spring. If you don't do that, you want to get it started indoors, this is a way to get cilantro more quickly to your table. And then once this goes outside, also drop some seed. So let's talk about ways you can grow it indoors. You can start it right in these cups if you're not going to have a whole lot of cilantro. Just fill your cups up with a starting mix and a garden soil. What do I mean by that? When we start seeds in here, we're going to do the cilantro in here too. You want to use a starting mix. It's a nice, fine, growing base for your seeds to germinate. And it's designed specifically for seed starting. This is how I set up all of my packs. I use a Jiffy starting mix. I'm actually starting to make my own again this year. Add in some water. You never want to use a dry mix, and then just pack it into here. We'll plant cilantro in here in a second. If you're going to grow them in the cups, you can fill this halfway up with any bagged garden soil. This is not a quality soil for seed starting like in these cells, but it's okay for something this large, because what you would do is fill this up this far with the garden soil and then drop your starting mix right on top there. That's where the seeds are going to step, and your seeds are going to sit and set up and grow right there. So they're going to grow in the starting mix, and then they'll grow root systems into here. Make sure you poke a hole in the cups. We're always going to bottom water. So I started these in this 6-pack about 3 weeks ago, and they're real easy to transplant over. Once they get to this size, all of mine have been grown indoors under lights. I'm going to tell you how to do that, and how you can also just move them in and outside. If you don't have grow lights, then do perfectly fine getting your cilantro seed started. Just take out the plugs just like that. And again, once they've set up and grown in your starting mix, you can fill this up with garden soil. Again, the bag will say garden soil. Garden soil is a cheaper product than starting mix. Just drop your finger in there, make a circle, drop in your seed start. Same thing, nice deep circle. Drop in your seed start. Now if you go and try and buy these at the store, they're going to cost you like $2, $3 a plant, and it's just not really worth it. I sell seeds, everybody sells seeds. These are only like $2, I think less than that on my shop. You can get a whole pack of seeds for $2 or less, and you can have enough seed to start them indoors, put seeds outside, so it's really worth your time to do it this way. Okay, so these are set up that easily. I like to label them when I started them and let these grow in here about another week or so, and then they'll go outside. Let's do the seed setup. Now, cilantro's seed is actually a pod. Inside one of these are multiple cilantro seeds, so you can actually crush them if you want a little bit, and that helps sometimes with germination. But you're going to drop in 3 or 4 seeds and inside pods, and inside of these pods there's multiple seeds. In here you can drop in 5 or 6. Cilantro can grow perfectly well packed together. And then just mix them in. Don't worry about the depth. They're going to grow at 1/4 of an inch deep, 1/2 inch deep. Just make sure you get all the seeds below the surface. And you're going to be good to go. With these, just mix them in. The depth is nothing you need to be concerned about with cilantro. Some other seeds you do, but rarely do you have to worry about it. Alright, so this is going to be a 6-pack of cilantro seeds. And again, all of my starting mixes, garden soils, are pre-moistened, so they have water in it. I want to label these. Cilantro. Today is the 19th, and in about 3 or 4 weeks these will be ready to go outside. And just drop the tag in there, so now I know what I have. Alright, so we've got them started. It's pretty simple. You don't need to fertilize your plants when you're starting them as seeds. You don't need to put a lot of anything there, to be honest with you. Over the years I used to put more in. I use very little now, because the seeds actually, when they germinate, they use the seed coat for nutrition. So once they break the surface and are growing a little bit, then you need to start fertilizing them. You could use organic fertilizer. I don't use organic fertilizer indoor. I just don't like it because it's all natural, so it actually causes more fungus growth, more mold growth, nothing that hurts your plants. But because it has to break down, and because it was either, sometimes blood meal was, blood from cows or pigs, bone meal is crushed bone, it actually decays and it stinks and it kind of gets moldy. So I don't use it indoors. I use a processed or chemical fertilizer. This is a 10-10-10. I've had this for years. Use this at quarter strength. You put in a quarter strength into a gallon of water. That makes it about a 2.5 NP and K, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Really low amounts. Chemical fertilizers will not hurt you. They will not hurt the plant. They're not fake. They're not poisonous, regardless of what you hear. They're a great product if you use it wisely. I use organic products and I use the processed chemical fertilizers. So I bottom water. It's the easiest way to do it. This way you're not pouring water on top and splashing stuff around. You're not splashing the seeds out. There's a hole in the bottom. Just fill it to here and drop your cup down. It'll absorb the water and the nutrients from the bottom. This tote was about $1. It's like a plastic shoebox, $1 at your big box stores. Now, you can start your seeds just like this if you're not doing a lot of them, and actually have something you can move in and out. So if you don't have grow lights, you could either, well, you could use these too. Let's just break this up here for the example. So if you were just seed starting and you don't have grow lights, you can set these in here just like that. And then just bring this in and out during the day. When you get up for work or you get up in the morning, put this outside in the sun. As long as it's over, 35, 40 degrees, let the warmth of the sun come, get these germinated. Cilantro doesn't mind the cold. And then at night, bring it back inside. And you just keep doing that. Your plants will actually be grown in the sun, so you don't have to do a process called acclimation. Acclimation is a process that you have to do when you grow these indoors, because they're not used to the temperatures, they're not used to the sun. So if I was growing these inside, these will go under my grow lights. The grow lights are about 2 inches from here. You're waiting for germination. Once they germinate, leave the grow lights on about 18 hours so the plants get plenty of light and don't get thin and thin and leggy. And legginess is what happens when people have the grow lights up like way too high. They stretch and they grow trying to get to the light, and they're weak, spindly plants. So after they germinate, keep the light on 18 hours for 5 to 7 days. After 7 days, you can reduce the lighting to 14 or 16 hours. Now, because these would be grown indoors for 3 or 4 weeks, you have to slowly transition them outside so they can get used to the sun, the UV rays. If you just put these right out into full sun from your house, it's going to burn the leaves and you're going to ruin your transplant. So over a week's time, start with full sun for like 30 minutes and then gradually expand the amount of sunlight they get until they're used to it, and then they can sit outside. So this is a way to seed start your cilantro. We're also going to go through tending and harvesting in the Grow as I Grow series, so please follow along, and I'm going to really show you just about everything that I put into the garden through the Grow as I Grow series. You can pick up seeds. I buy in bulk. You can pick them up at my shop at www.therustedgarden.com, or pick them up locally and Plan as I'm Planning, and I will help you have a wonderful garden this year. Thank you.